See and hear me okay? This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 144 people in 12 different countries. And you are welcome to watch live or later as a video, even if you're not one of those people that purchased this healing. So the people that purchased the healing, those are the people I will be healing, but I talk out loud as I heal. And so anyone is welcome to watch and use it as a all levels self-healing walkthrough. And later within a day, it will have chapters that are time-stamped so you can see all the little sections and just do like a 10-minute section if you want that is of interest to you easily. So there's that. And the basic structure of it is I discuss what I'm going to do. Then there's the healing. Then there's a little Q&A afterwards where if you have you want to say how the healing was for you or you have a follow-up question about the theme. So. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for my confirmation. I appreciate that. Okay. So what we are doing today. You know what? Actually, first, yeah. Okay, so thank you everybody for your surveys. They were, as always, very thought-provoking for me and educational as I study and figure out what to do in the next healing. So, sleep, I have said in the last set and maybe before that, I said like now through the end of the year, a recurring sub-theme that I'll have in every set, not necessarily every healing, but every set will be that I want to help people improve their sleep. So that especially includes being able to get back to sleep. You know, if you wake up for any reason during the night, how long does it take you to go back to sleep? How do you feel when you are trying to go back to sleep? That kind of idea. So that's going to be today as well, a sub-theme. The main theme for this month is sound boundaries, which is interesting. It has to do with your thoughts, being able to have calm, focused thoughts when you want to. Also not being like subconsciously influenced or consciously influenced by other people's communications in a way that is not healthy for you. Like, say, if you can subconsciously, if you have subconscious awareness of like people being angry in the world or people being scared in the world or something, sometimes that's an auditory thing, sometimes out loud. But a lot of times it's just subconscious, but it's nice to be able to have boundaries so that you hear yourself think. You can finish your own thoughts. You can, start a thought, think about it, have a solution, implement action, start action, or like sort of chart out, well, okay, but that's an issue for next month, or that's an issue for this afternoon, or, that's really a distraction, so to be able to have time and space for your thoughts and have them be logical and organized and pleasant is a thing that is workable, very workable. So that's part of sound boundaries, is that, like your own inner telepathy, your own inner communication is part of sound boundaries. Also, can you calm your mind when you're trying to go back to sleep? That's related to sound boundaries as well. Another thing that I wanted to work, well, okay, so how are we going to make all this happen, right? All sounds good, Janet, but yeah, no. aside from just talking about it, what are we going to do? So, I was looking at the people that can't go back to sleep right away easily, and their mind just kind of goes and goes and goes, and it's their own thoughts, but they can't kind of they can't stop, they just stay awake thinking, as opposed to going to sleep, even though they would like to go to sleep, right? So it looked like part of what was fueling the overactive mind was a lot of repressed emotion and repressed fear. So that is something that will work today in a couple different ways. And you can have repressed emotion, for example, repressed sadness or repressed anger, and not feel it consciously, because that's the whole thing about repression. It's in your subconscious. Some people, you have so much of it and it bubbles up so often that you can tell, like, oh yeah, I totally have an issue with repressed anger. Or maybe unprocessed anger is a better way to describe it too. But sometimes you really will have no idea, because you're so good at repressing it. But you can't calm your mind when you're trying to fall back asleep, and so it's like, we gotta clear it. But you don't have to go through 20 years of therapy to clear it. You don't have, although therapy can be beneficial if you are interested in that. But especially if you pair it with energy work and active meditation stuff, that's kind of a really interesting combo. But you don't have to. You don't even have to know why you have repressed emotion. You just can clear it. So we're going to clear it through aura unblocking of certain aura layers. The ones closest to your body would be for that. So astral body, first layer and second layer, and physical body, first and second layers. Around the head, all around the head, but then all around, period, all around your whole body, first and second layers of astral body aura and physical body aura. And I noticed that people who have great flow here with their astral body, but not with their physical body, they tend to have less severe symptoms than the people that have both their astral body and their physical body, first and second layers, really tight and locked up and compressed. Those, if you have both, then you have more sort of out of control symptoms as far as like restless thoughts and mind, and, unable to just have your own pleasant, constructive thought from beginning to end. So we will definitely be unblocking both the astral body, first and second layers, and physical body, first and second layers, especially around the head, though. I was looking at 2 days ago, we did, for the first time in my healings, we did explicit unblocking of the ear, which is not just the outer ear, but the middle ear and inner ear, which has so many cool parts to it. It's amazing. And then also the sinuses. And I showed diagrams, and I'll show them again today, for all the nitty gritty little parts of the ear, and also the sinuses and nasal cavity. But I think, and of course your brain, is up here. So I think it's especially important for the sound boundaries and balance and your mind to especially unblock around the head. Because I think, the nerves that help you interpret sound and vision and thought, a lot of them are right around here. So we'll especially do unblocking around the head, but I also want to unblock everywhere, especially like in front of and behind all your major chakras. We were talking about in the Q&A 2 days ago, one person at least had a lot of blocks in the aura, in the front and the back, right directly in front of and behind the fourth chakra. Somebody had them, right in front of and behind the lower chakras. I think, I call it aura bruising if you just have like, say 3 patches in a row of like hardness, that's an aura bruise. And it could be a remnant from having your aura ripped open, and then you repair the aura rip, but you still have the compression there. They're like pressure bruises, when it didn't quite rip, but it got too pressured, so it's all compressed. But if your aura is stronger and it doesn't rip as much, you can get, that's how you can get like those sort of compression bruises, aura bruises throughout like all the aura layers in one part, you know. So like someone's trying to whack you, and for a while, if your aura is pretty strong and flowy and everything, you'll just get the bruising, and you can get bruising all the way in. So it can have a really significant effect on you, even though the aura is not ripped. Obviously, if they keep going, eventually all that compression will cause the force to come in deeper, and it will eventually rip. But if you have a stronger aura, you work on yourself more, you know, just a heads up. I've said this before, but it's been a while. The aura bruising could be more of an issue than really getting rips in your so anyway, we will look more for that kind of aura unblocking that's necessary in front of and behind all the major chakras. What else? And then, you know, I think the angels will probably suggest extras, you know, along those lines. So it's kind of like, you know, definitely working still sound boundaries, definitely getting back to sleep. In some way we'll work that, and I don't want to too much awake. So the angels, sometimes they're very spontaneous and they're like, work it this way. It's not what I think. So anyway, but definitely sound boundaries, definitely getting back to sleep more quickly and easier, and calming, being able to calm your thoughts, definitely clearing repressed emotion, definitely clearing repressed fear, and a lot of aura unblocking, and specific unblocking of around the head and around the sinuses in the ears and in the head. So I am excited. Oh, okay. So then now that brings me to okay, so that's my website, jwhealing.com, which most of you know, but I did change it about a year ago, so my website address. But if you use the old website address, which I won't say out loud, I don't want to confuse people, but that one still works. It'll redirect you to this one, which is jwhealing.com. Janet Wright is my name, so JW Healing for energy healing. But anyway, the sales note is I put November sets back up for sale, as well as there are still some December sets available. And the reason I did that is because I do want to keep working sleep issues through the end of the year. Like I said, maybe not in every single healing, but in every set of healings, at least partially. And I want to keep working sound boundaries, actually, through the rest of the year, because they're more interrelated than I thought they would be, than I initially realized. You know, like the ability to calm your mind, the ability to hear yourself think, and peace of mind, and all that good stuff. Obviously, that's really useful during the day for productivity and just quality of life. But being able to sleep well and being able to go back to sleep easily, it's all very interconnected. So I'm going to keep working sound boundaries through the end of the year as well. So there could be some people for which sound boundaries is like very meaningful to you. And, you know, maybe you do want to purchase November sets because we're going to work on that. So in case you do, I put them back up on the purchase page so that you could if you wanted. So there are some November sets for sale, some spots for November sets on the website, and some spots for the December sets for sale right now on the website, whealing.com. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I mean, the November and December sets also have really cool themes already. But the sleep and the sound boundaries will be added as sub-themes. But the themes are very cool already, the main themes, including like family boundaries and different things. But they're listed. It's all listed on the website, on the purchase page of the website. So that's all I need to say about that. That heads up. So I'm going to look at chat comments briefly now, and then I'll do the 3 minutes of quiet, and then we'll start the healing. All right. Someone says, hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 71 and cloudy. 71 is nice. I miss 71. Pretty sure we're not going to see 71 again until like May. We tend to not have wild temperature swings like they do in Chicago. Like in Chicago, you could get 71 in January and it's not like unheard of. And then you'll get like 30 the next day. But out here, it's more consistent. So we'll probably, maybe we'll get up to the 50s today. Anyway, someone says, hey, Janet, I can see and hear you in sunny Las Vegas, 78 degrees. Wow. I was going to say my tomatoes would love that, but my tomatoes are all indoors, so it doesn't really matter. My basil would love that. Oh, I still have basil outside. Thai basil. We have not yet gotten our freeze yet, but if my husband's listening, I don't know if he's still listening to this live stream, but we might get our freeze tonight. Our first freeze of the fall winter season might come tonight or tomorrow night. So we might have to try to cut some basil and bring it inside. I don't know how well that'll work, but anyway. Hello, Janet. I can see and hear you. Feeling motivated to heal myself along with you today. That's great. Welcome, welcome. Someone says, hi, Janet, from cloudy but warmer than PNW in Chicago this week. Woot. Yes. Oh, in Chicago. Oh. Well, you enjoy those warm temperatures in Chicago. Good for you. You'll probably get more sun there too. Live it up. When you get back to the PNW, we're very green all fall, winter, and spring. Like everything, there's so much that's still green. There's moss everywhere. There's all sorts of coolness, but not much sunshine. Lots of clouds. Anyway, hi, Janet. Sunny in San Francisco, California. I'll be a little cranky again. Well, good heads up there. The cranky report. Hi, good day to you. Well, hello to you. 61 degrees Fahrenheit in San Francisco. Yes. Well, that's good. I would take that. 61. Okay. So now we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet. A brief explaining of how I heal, just because sometimes newbies, they don't know these things. So explaining old energy and hands. So, as an energy healer, you don't have to use your hands, but it is very useful. So if you are able to do that right now, that's extra bonus. You can't use your hands for some reason, somebody's looking at you that would not understand such a thing. You could just imagine gold suns and use the gold suns, or like imagine that you have like a gold energy flamethrower or something. Or like a gold basin full of gold energy and dunk things into it. But hands are extra useful, and using imagining a copy of what you're healing. Like, so you could just do direct healing and just gold suns all around yourself and direct them in certain locations. But what I'm going to do is use a copy out in front of me. And I do that a lot when I self. So the copy can be of everything or just one thing. So say you're doing a healing on like your shoulder, you could imagine your shoulder and your aura layers around your shoulder. That would be effective as well. You don't just your shoulder, but the aura layers around. But anyway, you could do that, or you can imagine everything. So everything is 17 auras. You have 17 auras, which sounds funny, I guess, because a lot of people just say your aura. Like it's one thing. But anyway, you have your physical body aura, your astral body aura, and then 15 auras called your Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It is your strong boundaries energy as a spirit. So anyway, you have 17 auras. They're all in the same place, so you can heal them all at once. If you're reasonably present, they're all in the same place. And so we will be doing that in the healing. But anyway, and then gold light can be generated by any chakra, really, but a lot of them that would be way too trippy. But you can generate it with your hand chakras. Just you have a hand chakra in the palm of each hand. You have a fingertip chakra in each fingertip. And they, like all chakras, they generate energy. So then you set them with your intention to be a metallic gold color. And then that's the color that they generate of energy. That's the color of energy. And why do you care what color it is if you can't see? Well, you do it with your intention, and it matters because of the speed of vibration. Like gold light just helps loosen things up, but it's not so fast that it's disorienting and overwhelming. Like if you use white to heal yourself, that's not going to get you more present. That's probably going to get you less present. But if you use gold, it's like just fast enough, but not too fast. So it's good for repairing and blocking and releasing. This is why we use gold light. Rainbow colors are nice too, of course. So your major chakras, rainbow colors are great for that. So you can set your major chakras to be red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. I have an email handout on chakras. If you did want that, that's free. It's like a little 2-page email attachment that lists all the 7 major chakras and what each one does, and the ideal color and the location of each one in your body along your spine. But so that's the basics. So, and you can just kind of wing it if you've never done this before. It still works. And that's that. So towards the end of this 3 minutes of quiet, I will start the healing. And then after healing without talking for about a minute, the rest of the time I'll be explaining what I'm doing as I do it. So you could follow along and use it as a self-healing walkthrough if you wish. Okay, thank you for waiting. So let's work grounding. Grounding is your connection to the core of the earth. You can imagine a copy of it out in front of you. You can recreate both of your groundings just with your thought or your intention. I would suggest you make them both the same color, which you can do with your thought or intention. You don't have to see the color. Make them both red or orange or yellow, because those are slower moving but still rainbow colors, so they're not too fast for your lower chakras. So it could be really edifying, strengthening. Make your auras wide as basically if you stretch out your arms and that wide. And make your grounding that wide as all your auras. And bring up your groundings high up, as high as your third chakra. Your third chakra is beneath where your sternum bone ends. So your sternum bone is this bone that goes down right in the center of your rib cage there in the front. And beneath that, just beneath that, that's where your third chakra is. Some people have their third chakra a little lower than that. But I don't. It nudged up against my rib cage right there. So you can bring your third chakra up that high. I'm sorry, your groundings up that high. And just use gold light from your hands. Make a copy out in front of you of your grounding. Use gold light from your hands, and you want to melt the blocks in your grounding. And if your grounding isn't that wide, just sometimes if you unblock your grounding, then it widens out naturally. But if it's not wide enough, this wide all the way down, maybe recreate it a couple times till you get it that wide. Indie grounding stands for independent grounding, and that's where you just use gold light from your hands and you run it over the surface, the outer surface of your groundings, to make sure you melt away any connections going into your grounding from other people. Because it works better if their grounding is just for them, your grounding is just for you. Even if it's your kid, it's better for them to have their own grounding. One of my people I'm healing her and her young child. And her young child's a very picky eater these days, more than usual. And when she's not eating, when she's refusing to eat, her grounding is completely blocked. So likewise, if some people are stuck, some of my adult clients maybe are stuck comfort eating too much, so maybe too many chips or too many cookies or too much pasta or whatever it is. Your grounding is definitely blocked when you're doing it. No doubt. So it's kind of interesting, like sometimes for me with sweets, like you can keep unblocking your grounding while I'm talking. But for me with sweets, it's like safer for me to have, like a cookie with one of my earlier meals than it is late at night. I mean, I still might have one late at night, but then, if my grounding has been blocked for several hours, then I might be like, oh, I'll have one more. Oh, I'll have one more. Because you get this sense of like dissatisfaction. And then you get this sense of like, well, maybe if there's some food item that can fix this dissatisfied feeling I have. But no, if you have issues with control with that, what's happening is you're feeling dissatisfied because you're all blocked up. And so more food does not make you less energetically blocked up. And so that's why you keep eating to try to fix it. Oh, maybe some more chips will help. Maybe some more cookies will help. Right? So just all about grounding, basically. Not only, but that's sort of the foundation of it. So So moral of the story is if you have discipline issues with going to bed or eating the wrong things or too much of something in the evenings, try to keep track of your grounding. How is your grounding unblocked? And just kind of proactively check your grounding in the afternoon, the early evening, the late evening, keep your grounding flowing. The more your grounding is releasing, the less it's blocked, the more you're going to be able to make mindful choices and, think about the big picture, like, well, sure, this tastes good right now, but I'm trying to slim down, or I'm trying to get muscle tone, or I'm trying to sleep more hours in the day. So grounding, grounding, grounding. And there are some blocks in the grounding that will only trigger during certain times. Like someone was saying that they have trouble sleeping Sunday night, but not other nights, because they're anticipating work and it brings up school trauma from when they were kids and whatever. So thinking about these kind of complex issues while you unblock your grounding can help you to find the blocks that are more likely to trigger in the evening and block up your grounding. It's like proactive clearing. So we're clearing the evening baggage out of your grounding. We're clearing self-control baggage out of your grounding. Of course, it could be in other parts of your auras too, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, so enough on grounding. So that was grounding and self-control discussion. And eating. Oops. Gotta have my fingers in the right place. Okay. All right, so let's do aura repair. So aura repair, you just imagine all your 17 auras out in front of you and comb through them first, because detecting aura damage, like do I need to do aura repair, is a good skill, and you just develop it by kind of winging it. Use your intuition, you combing through everywhere, see if you feel like rips or you intuit rips or damage. If you're especially overwhelmed, you can just sort of assume you have aura damage. But it's nice to be able to check it, and it's kind of cool to be able to find specific spots, which you can do over time with practice. But what we're going to do is we're going to repair them all at once, all the rips that you have in all your 17 auras. So just make a composite copy rip. Imagine an image of a rip and have it, and with your intention, say, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips in my 17 auras that I need to repair. And so as you repair the rip, you're repairing all those rips, right? So first we clean it out. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, gold light from your hands that sticks to everything that's not you, forms a big lump, and then lift out that lump of junk with gold wax and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk that's not you. Angels, here you go. So that junk includes hard objects, invasive people's energy, invasive beings' energy. So just again, sticky gold wax, fill it up, stick all the junk in a lump, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then use the gold light to repair. Now that the rip is all cleaned out, it repairs more easily. And if there are any leftover hard objects in there, just give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. All right. So that probably repaired most of them, but let's do one more process of that whole thing in case there are leftover rips. So just make an image of a rip and have it represent all the leftover rips that you still have in your auras. and do the same process. So fill it up with sticky cold X, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. You can also say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you please recycle those? Angels, do the work for a sec. And one more time, sticky cold X, fill up with sticky cold X, lift out the junk. Angels, here. Now just get that gold light as deep as you can in the rip and just repair. Have any leftover hard objects? Just angels, here you go. Angels, here. Check the outer surface of all your auras. Go all the way around. And if there are any hard objects still sticking out, you can just sort of pop them out and let them explode and repair any little holes. You're just feeling around for any rips that you missed, if there are any. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you please recycle them? All right, and then you can redo your gold buffer zones. So normally I just stick or unblocking in quickly in after aura repair, but I had said in the little overview discussion that I want to do more unblocking than usual, especially like you can get bruising, like patches of hardness all the way in, like in all your aura layers, but in a certain location, especially in front of the chakras or behind the chakras, the major chakras along your spine. I want to extra unblock those areas. So anywhere like here in your aura in the back or here or above your head. You can just comb through your auras, especially in front of and behind your spine, and melt away any blocks. Gold light. And we can do extra also with the first and second layers, which I talked about a lot, especially around your head, but everywhere. We can do astral and physical separately. So like imagine like, you know, your physical body with your physical body aura all around you, and that has 7 layers, and then your astral body and your astral body aura, and that has 7 layers as well, all the way around you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you don't understand sort of, okay, what is she talking about, chakras, auras, blah, blah, you know, how does that work? How does the flow work? I do have a 3-video series that I did years ago called 7 Chakras, Aura Layers, Flow. I could link that below. I will link that below in the comment section later. Again, I'm unblocking all the layers of the astral body and physical body aura in front of and behind the major chakras above the 7th. But then also, especially the first and second layers all around, especially first and second layers around the head. Help with sound boundaries and thought. And the auras are kind of funny, you know, like I think in general in energy healing, you know, you can use gold light forever and be like, not much is happening. Or you can kind of intuit, okay, if I unblock right here, that's going to open the whole thing up. Like you can be more strategic about it. And so in the top of the head, like right unblocking here is sort of a strategic place to unblock that can help the entire aura layer to unblock more. Or like beneath the feet is also like that. But also in front of and behind any of the major chakras, because if they have that pressing on them with that hardness, they can't spin as well and circulate energy as well and create more energy as well. So probably the most strategic area to unblock would be above your head. Then the second most strategic would be beneath your feet. That helps you with releasing, which helps everything. But then the third most strategic would probably be in front of and behind all your major chakras. Checking each aura layer around the head, and you strategically, I mean, you know, you don't have to think about strategy if it's just too complicated, you know, then don't think about it, you know. But if your mind kind of wants to geek out about stuff anyway, then, you know, this is good information. So like you could check from out in, because you come in from the top down, and so the top chakra in the top of your head is your 7th chakra, so that generates your 7th layer. But if you have good flow here and here, then you can get in here more easily, your 6th chakra. And if you have good flow here and here and here and here, then you can get in your 5th chakra and your 5th layer more easily. So that's why you want to, you know, just make sure from the outside in and the top down. But if that blows your mind, don't worry about it. Any unblocking helps. Fifth chakra and 5th layer directly relate to mind, thoughts, communication, inner communication. You could check the top of your 5th layer. Hardness there. Part of why the rainbow system helps so much with your chakras is then you mindfully are setting each chakra to a specific, general color. So like, so say if medium to light blue, you set that for your 5th chakra, communications. And if you check up here, you would want flowy light blue to medium blue energy, and that's likely to be your energy. Although if you have a super clever being or person, they could be there at that vibration as well, also at a light blue or medium blue, but that's pretty uncommon. Usually if someone else, a being or a person, is in your aura layer, they'll just be at whatever color they're at. So it's kind of more noticeable, like, oh, that's not the blue that I'm looking for. That must be somebody else, most likely. And obviously if it's hard and doesn't flow, that's definitely an energy block. A device. Just unblocking the 5th layer above the head. Fourth layer above the head. Layer above the head. Third layer, 3rd chakra, has to do with productivity, getting stuff done, and quality of sleep. So if you have your mind racing and you can't go back to sleep, chances are you do have quite a lot of blocks right above your head. Which makes everything tighter, which makes it hard for you to be present, which makes it easier for energy that's not yours to kind of flow in there and rattle things around and over rev you. When in doubt, unblock. When in doubt, ground. When in doubt, unblock above your head. If you only want 2 things, ground and unblock above your head. If you only want 1 thing, ground. The 1st layer and 2nd layer, especially around your head. Astral body, aura. If you heal only one at a time, like your astral body and then your physical body, you can notice like, whoa, that's way hard. Or, oh, because if one's flowing but one's stuck, if you have them both superimposed on each other, then it might not look so bad. But if you just look, so I'm going to just heal the astral body aura right now, 2nd and 1st layer around the head. Which I think flows into the next thing I want to do is sinuses. Unblock the sinuses and the nasal cavity. So we'll keep unblocking the 1st and 2nd layers in front of the face as we do that. But we'll also unblock. So this diagram shows the different sinus cavities, nasal. There's the nasal cavity is shown in pink, like directly beneath me here. It's like, if you go in the nostrils, that goes into the nasal cavity, and there's one on each side, and it's divided by a septum, which is like bone and cartilage. So there's like a left compartment and a right compartment, of your nasal cavity. But then the shown as other colors in the diagram are sinuses, and sinuses are empty spaces in bones, air pockets in bones in your skull. And you have 4 different kinds of sinuses just based on which bone they're in. And they're all lined with mucus membranes that create mucus to moisturize the air you're breathing, and I guess to help with so germs don't get into the whole rest of your body when you breathe in. So anyway, but it helps telepathy. That's why. I mean, I care about the physical stuff too. You know, I want to help people have less blocked sinuses, like on a literal level you can feel, but also energetically, it helps with sound boundaries. So you can just imagine, you know, if you want to imagine like in profile, or if you want to imagine straight forward, like the other way it's shown, but you can just kind of imagine the hardness, any hard energy, any blocks in these areas, and just surround them in gold light and lift them out. Come to the angels. Angels, here you go. You can imagine if there are any invasive beings messing with your sinuses or your nasal cavity, and just imagine them and say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? And if you have hardness in front, in your aura layers in front of your sinuses, it's harder to be present. And it's easier for people's energy and invasive beings' energy to like connect to the hardness and then step as a stepping stone into your sinuses too. And your hearing as well. So we don't want any of that. So flow. You just want to flow. So melt the blocks. You can lift them out. Lift out the blocks in your sinuses. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And if you have any invasive beings in the way of you unblocking your sinuses and your ears and unblocking the auras around your head, you can just have like a suspect lineup. Imagine any invasive beings like that and say, angels, can you please recycle all these beings? Angels, here you go. So also, the ears. The ears, I'm kind of in love with the ears right now. First of all, because I mean, I knew there was internal stuff, but I didn't know that was all considered the ear. I only thought of the outer ear as the ear, but apparently medically, all that internal awesome stuff that is shown in the diagram right there, that's also the ear. So super cool stuff. Super cool stuff. Helps the inner ear helps with balance as well as hearing. So very cool. So you can use a red grounding and ground your sinuses and your ears, including middle ear and inner ear. You could even do a tricolor soak with your sinuses and your ear, including all the inner ear stuff. Oh, and I'm gonna mention that on the diagram, there's a red tube called Eustachian tube, which is super cool. And it drains excess fluid that's in your middle ear out to like the top back of your throat, which is like part of your nasal cavity. So it's like somewhere around here back, and it drains your inner ear area into your the back of your upper back part of your nasal cavity. And then even like all those nasal cavities, they also drain into your nasal cavity. So anyway, but let's do a tricolor soak just of that cool stuff. The nose, the nasal stuff, and the ear stuff. So red earth energy. And bring that back down. Orange earth energy. Bring that down. Yellow earth energy. And again, if there are any invasive beings in the way of any of this work, just line them up and say, angels, can you recycle those beings? Oh, and motion sickness. The inner ear relates to motion sickness also, which is pretty fascinating. So the cochlea, that like curly thing, the innermost part there in that diagram, the thing that looks like a little snail, the curls like that, the cochlea, and also the thing right before it, the thing that looks like tubes. There are 3 of those tubes. One you can't see in the diagram, but that and the cochlea, they both help with balance as well as hearing. Well, I don't know if those 3 semicircular canals help with hearing or if they only help. I'll look that up. But anyway, they're all cool. So we're going to heal them all. But you just want you here. You don't want anything that's not you here. There's just lots of gold light and earth energy. Keep bringing earth energy up. And I had talked about yesterday, 2 days ago in that healing, we got insults out of the sinuses. Like you can have pieces of communication from other people stuck in your sinuses, like their energy. So you could just imagine if you have anybody else's energy in your sinuses, including insulting comments that they've made on any level, and just lift that out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And the thing is, too, we're gonna combine, you know, this inner unblocking with the aura in front. Because if you have it too blocked here, then there's a limit to how unblocked you can get in here. So first and second layers right in front of like the eyes and the cheekbones and the mouth, forehead, all that. And if it's just not clearing, check, you know, unblock above again and below. Below the feet and above. Then again, right in front of the face. You know that expression, in my face, they're in my face. Or he was in my face. So there can be energy blocks that trigger in your face so that you think someone's being in your face, but they're not. You're just triggering old baggage right there. That's how, like, some people that are homophobic and they don't like gay people and gay people really freak them out, and if they see somebody like a gay couple kissing like 30 feet away, they'll be like, they're so, you know, I don't want gay people in my face, you know, and they literally have baggage that triggers in their face. So they feel it right here, but it's not those people in their, you know, those people aren't being invasive with them. It's just that they have baggage that's being triggered right here. So unblock in front of your face. Which brings me to another thing I want us to do. Resentments, you know, if I'm gonna like diagram, okay, which chakra is blocked if you're resentful, typically it's the fourth chakra. You can have sort of very angry resentful, and therefore it's second chakra as well that's blocked, and second layer. But resentment is most directly fourth chakra, because fourth chakra, if it's working properly and flowing nicely, and fourth layer, it's flowing nicely, you feel love and kindness and compassion and, you know, positivity, and you're very upbeat. And so if you have, you know, good flow here, that's, you know, because that's what the chakra does if it's working right. So if it's not working right, you know, you feel very acutely if you've been betrayed or something. You could be betrayed, but if your fourth chakra is working great and you unblock everything, your fourth layer, your fourth chakra, it just doesn't bug you the same way. It doesn't kind of rock your world in the same way. Anyway, let's clear resentments. Since we've been doing aura unblocking, we could start doing it that way first. So just like fourth chakra, fourth layer in front and behind. We'll backtrack and do chakra repair and creative ring repair and stuff like that we normally do. But I just, since most of the people I heal, you know, everybody I'm healing now, I healed 2 days ago. Their chakras aren't so bad. So I'm just going to run with this. So anyway, clearing resentments. So I'm clearing, unblocking the fourth chakra river, basically the front fourth chakra river and the back fourth chakra river, as well as the fourth chakra itself, astral and physical. So you could repair and unblock both fourth chakras at once. You know, this is the basic chakra shape. Green is a nice color for the fourth chakra. You can set it to your favorite shade of green. And you don't want anything blocking these openings. This is how your energy flows, you know, in the front and out the back. And so you want to drag out the energy blocks, and then you could melt them or blow them up if you're healing yourself. Cold light. Drag out the energy blocks from your fourth chakras. Melt away. Drag out. Away. So people that typically are very resentful or feel very betrayed, they may kind of mishear this, that, well, but you don't understand, I really have been betrayed, I really have been mistreated. And I'm not saying that you haven't been. I'm just saying that if it defines how you're feeling and your mood, you also have blocks in your fourth chakra and your fourth chakra. So yeah, I'm definitely not trying to say that, you know, people haven't been through really awful abusive situations. I'm just saying that, you know, why let it define how you feel still? You know, you work on your fourth chakra and fourth layer and get it flowing and get that fourth chakra river flowing. Then you have more selection of mood. You don't have to be limited by what's happened to you. So sometimes there's it's like there's a level of clearing of resentments, but then there's some stuff that's like, okay, Janet, that's just a bridge too far. You know, I'm going to hate that person for all of eternity. Or, you know, I'm going to be stuck about this one thing that happened that was not fair, which I'm sure it wasn't, you know, but for forever and ever and ever. That's just, you know, that one's just never going to change. It would be nice if it could change, but it's never going to change. So let's work on that stuff. Let's do it. So you can ask your angels too, you know, they'll ask your angels to edit, right? So just put the shit that's like the shittiest of the shit that you still resent and you're resentful about, and they'll feel betrayed or whatever, right? And a bunch of it is probably subconscious that you don't even know, but it's from past lives, right? So let that expand to include past life stuff and subconscious stuff. There's all the resentments that, you think probably will never clear, And just say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? So that way they'll get rid of stuff that's too much. And then you can blow all this up, or you could melt it with cold light. You can melt cords going into it from you and other people. You could bring up red earth energy, soak it all, cold light. And then there's a type of resentment that the angels at this moment are calling foundational resentment. So you can have resentment that is like sort of part of your origin story, or part of your political beliefs, some group of people that you really resent, or something about people or about society. But you don't have to make resentment part of your foundation, part of your identity. You could still work for justice and work for, peace or whatever, all that. But if you take the resentment out of it, you'll be much stronger and much more inspiring to others, much more safe energetically, just because resentment is a more blocked up, kind of darker energy, and it attracts invasive beings to you and just makes trouble for you. So line up all your foundational resentment. Anything that's, key to how you feel about the world, or how you feel that you are as a person and what you're here to do in this life. So if you have any foundational resentments like that, even just subconscious, right? And just say, angels, is it healthy for me to clear all this? Is it healthy and gentle for me to clear all this? And that way your angels will take away anything that's not really good for you to clear right now. Okay? And then you can go ahead and melt everything that's out in front of you, or just blow it up. All right, good job. So let's now now we'll go back to the rest of the 5 essentials. Finish those up quickly-ish. Quickish. So we've already done grounding and aura repair. So then we have creative ring, repair and unblocking. So creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3. They are part of your astral body energy system. So you as a spirit, when they're working and nice and whole, they generate gold light, which feels good and comes down and helps all your major chakras, and it creates a nice protective force field right there. So you can just make a copy of your creative rings out in front of you and check for breaks, check for cracks, check for cords, and use the gold light to melt the cords and repair the damage. You can have baggage sort of caked on everywhere, like sort of dried mud, and you can use the gold light to melt that stuff away. You can imagine, you know, any invasive beings that are messing with your creative rings, just imagine them like in a big suspect lineup and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? If you have cords going into your creative rings, that can irritate the rings. And so if the rings are irritated like that, the flaps stick out. So that is what the flaps look like when they're sticking out. When they're not sticking out, they fall flush. You know, they fall closed. So it's like just a nice smooth ring, right? So, but this is the way it looks if they're irritated because of cords. So just keep melting cords so that your flaps can relax and fall shut. The benefit of that is harder for people to cord you if flaps are. I talked in the grounding section about, you know, self-control, comfort eating, all that good stuff. So if you feel like you don't have good focus or control, this is another place you could check is your creative rings and just see that the flaps are nice and relaxed and shut. Creative rings are doing their job and generating lots of gold light. You have people courting your creative rings. You can imagine those people, but don't do anything to them. Imagine the lines of light between you, them, and your creative rings, and just melt with gold light. Melt those cords. Oh, also when you yawn, your eustachian tube opens up briefly and equalizes pressure between your inner ear, and the outside environment. So it could be if you keep yawning that there's some kind of blockage in your inner ear or in the eustachian tube. Energy block. Fun stuff. And try healing your creative rings and your ears at the same time. Like, if there's any energy that's not yours that goes from your creative rings into that area of your ears, you can sort of grab it. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And any energy maybe coming from above, coming through your rings into the area of your ears. Freeze it. Give it to your angels. Angels, here. You want to have your aura unblocked enough so that it can do its job and protect all these areas, your ears and your sinuses. So that's just your energy in there. All right. So creative rings. With a teeny bit about the ears. Again. Can't get enough of healing the ears. So as I said, it will be a recurring theme in November and December, the sound boundaries and quality of sleep, including fun with the ears. Grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. That's what's next. Chakra repair. Bum bum bum. So we're gonna repair all major and minor chakras at the same time because we are so awesome like that. So this is basic chakra shape, open cylinder. Make one of those out in front of you with your intention and have it represent all your chakras. Major ones along your spine, but also all the cool smaller ones, your acupuncture points. Those are minor chakras. Also chakras around your joints and energy channels, all sorts of cool energy centers. So just have them all represented by one composite copy and go ahead and repair and unblock that and use gold light to melt cords. And lift out the blocks, melt them away or blow them up. Lift out the blocks. Lift out the blocks. You could give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the blocks. Give them to your angels. And your intention is not to get out every block that's ever been in there, but to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. And if you have any invasive beings in the way, you can just imagine them like a lineup, suspect lineup, and just say, angels, can you recycle all those beings? Any hard objects in the way, just lift them out. Your angels, angels, here you go, or blow them up or melt them with cold light. All right, good job. I'll stick nerves in as well, although I don't yet. I still don't have a nerves diagram. I think the angels felt like the ear and sinus diagrams were enough to just don't want to blow your mind too much. So, all right. So good karma windows are in the back here, and they're cool. And if you're good, you know, like positive change energy can come through this way. Good karma energy comes through this way. Is one way for good your new energy to come in through. Is back here. But if they're all banged up and damaged, then invasive energy could come through there, which is overwhelming, obviously. So you just imagine that area back there, the good karma windows, and they look like triple frame windows that of different colors depending on the color of that aura layer. Red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. If you're using the rainbow system for your chakras. Anyway, you just don't want them to be smashed up or damaged or blocked. So just use gold light. Even if you can't see, just imagine this area back here of your astral body aura. And I'm doing just a little extra with the first and second good karma windows. So right up against, since we were doing a lot of extra work on first and second layers around the head. First and second good karma window. And flow zone is in that same location, except in the physical body aura. So back here in the physical body aura, but also including in and around your neck. Want that to be as flowing as possible. Okay, and base of skull points right here. So those dots on the lines are traditional Chinese medicine meridians, which are super cool to do energy healing on. And although you want to do healthy and gentle, keep that in mind, because if you make a change in one meridian, then it affects the other meridians, and it can, you just want to kind of pace yourself and do what's gentle. But given that, you can have a lot of fun doing them. So those lines, each line is different. Each color line is a different meridian. The one that goes up the midline of the back is the governing vessel meridian, GV. And it starts in the crotch and goes up the midline of the back and hooks around the head and ends roughly in the roof of the mouth. So the base of skull points are two roughly horizontal lines, one at the level of the top of the ear, one at the level of the bottom of the ear there. And so we're just repairing and unblocking those specific points. And you can make, I mean, the lines look pretty small right there. And in reality, in the meridian, you know, they're small, but you can enlarge your copy so it's easier to detect blocks and damage if you want. And your auras, especially first and second aura layers, directly behind your base of skull points. So red is a good color for your first chakra. Orange is a good color for your second chakra. So your first chakra, red, if it's red, then it generates your energy at red and sends it all the way around in this aura layer closest to your body, right? So when you detect back here, right behind your base of skull points, you want it to be red and flowy. If it's black and hard, that's a problem. So just melt the hardness away. And if you can't see color, that's fine. You know, you can use your intuition and be like, okay, is this my red energy? Yes, no. What do I do? So ideally, you would feel red flowy right up against your skin there, and then orange flowy for your second layer energy just behind that. And then yellow flowy behind that for your third layer. If you don't have good flow, it's less likely that your aura can keep foreign energy out. You want your aura to be like these phenomenal flowing buffers so that you have your own space inside you that's unbothered by external energies. All right. So you can quickly finish up those other base of skull points shown in the diagram. And behind there, you can double check like your astral body only directly behind your base of skull points. And if you have anything hard, you can just melt it away with gold light. Or if it's not melting, just lift it out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. All right. Doing a little momentary chakra alignment. The major chakras along your spine. Oh, and then I said we would do the nervous system, which I don't have a diagram of. Sorry about that, but you can just imagine like a cool network of nerves in your body. And you want flow. You do not want blocked energy. So just imagine any blocks in your nerves, your nervous system, melt them away. Blocked energy in your nervous system, melt it away with gold light. Any blocks or burdens or other people's energy affecting your nervous system, just imagine a big pile of it. Just the angels, is it okay to clear all this? And then just blow it up or melt it away. All right, good job. Woohoo. Great job, everybody. So I'm going to look for a minute and see what I should do next. Maybe I'll show the waterfall while I look, in case you like looking at that while I'm looking at a sample person and figure out what we're doing next. Okay. Thanks for waiting. So, we're going to be clearing trauma flashbacks. Like parts of you that are stuck in a past traumatic experience in the past. Because I was looking at a sample person, and it's harder for her to have sound boundaries and sort of manage her own thoughts and have, serenity and clear mind. In part because she has a lot of hard energy blocks back here in her first layer of her astral body aura and physical body aura. And we were just working on that, but it only partially cleared because part of her is stuck in a trauma flashback, or several trauma flashbacks, where, like, technically a trauma flashback is like where you are, well, the way I use it, I don't know officially, but you're here now, like watching TV or talking to somebody, but all of a sudden you're really not comfortable, maybe just subconsciously, but part of you is re-experiencing some bad thing that happened to you, some traumatic thing that happened to you in the past. And you're still getting input from that part of you as if it's happening now. And so that's a trauma flashback. So like, I am an abuse survivor, sexual abuse survivor. And it used to be worse than it is now because I've obviously cleared a lot. But it used to be if I was watching a movie and there was some depiction, or some hint of, sexual abuse in the movie, which, I'm never happy about, because it's like people forget that there are all these survivors out there in the world, and that's triggering. Although now that idea of being triggered and all that is much more in the common knowledge. So I think people are much more sensitive to that, thankfully. And there might be a warning, a trigger warning, or if people talk about something, they might give a trigger warning, right? So I should give a trigger warning. Sorry. But hopefully the title Clear Trauma Flashbacks clued you in. So, but anyway, so say, if I was watching something that, just hinted at, child abuse or sexual abuse, it would be, I couldn't keep watching it. I would have to stop watching it. And that is a healthy response, to just be able to control your triggers and say, okay, well, I'm going to stop watching this, right? But someone who doesn't understand trauma flashbacks might think, well, keep watching because they get the guy in the end, he gets his, he gets punished in the end. But it doesn't matter to a survivor who's being triggered, because they're now re-experiencing whatever has happened to them. And so it's not like, yay, now he's going to get his. It's, oh my God, I'm re-experiencing something that I went through, right? And so that's a trauma flashback. But people have that in little ways, like that client I was looking at, she couldn't clear this block right here in the first layer, which causes fear or is related to fear, because parts of her are back in several traumatic experiences that are fear-inducing. And so she's holding on to it, thinking it's a present time experience. So you can't let go of it. That's like telling someone who's actually currently being attacked, oh, don't be afraid. It's a lot harder than if oh, that's just my past. I'm going to let go of it now, so I can move on, so I can be a strong survivor and not let that define me, yada, 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 right? So if we help those parts of you that are still trapped in past trauma experiences, like trapped in the past, right? Then the unblocking becomes much more thorough and effective. And then you can have better sound boundaries and better mind, be able to calm your mind and your thoughts and get back to sleep and yada, yada. So that's why we're bringing it up. I never bring up trauma and abuse unless there's a real reason for it, because it's triggering, right? So, but hopefully, this is a good thing. And now we can, help those parts of you so that those parts of you are no longer stuck in those time periods. And, okay, maybe there's still a little bit because you can't clear it all at once, but we'll do, what's healthy and gentle to do right now so that you can be functional in your life and, have a good day, have a good next day, that kind of idea. So you only want to do healthy and gentle, of course, with everything, including with this kind of work. Okay. So So I'm going to say heal parts of you stuck in past trauma experiences, which is a really long title, but I want to be specific about what we're doing. Okay. So we can just use timeline healing. That way you don't have to see any experiences or know what happened, even consciously. You don't have to know anything, right? So you just have like a big long line, and there's you now in this lifetime, and the beginning of the line is, your first life that you ever had. Okay, and then the future is, your future lifetimes, but we don't have to worry about that because we're talking about past trauma, right? So, and you just want to see and heal what's healthy and gentle to do right now. So you can say that too. Angels help me to do this only in a healthy and gentle way, right? And just, a little dot on the line for you now, and make dots on the line, or, flowers on the line, or little piles of baggage on the line, whatever you want to represent bits of your energy stuck in past traumatic experiences. And it could be all sorts of things. It could just be like one of your friends passed away and it was really hard for you and you were not good at clearing energy in that lifetime, all sorts of things. So just imagine the little dots for parts of you that are stuck in past trauma experiences. Could be a time when you were angry, time when you were sad, time when you were scared, whatever. And just don't go into the experiences. Stay here in your body, in your butt, in your shoulders. Imagine, remind yourself how old you are now, what year it is, all that good stuff. Just be here. Don't be in the dots, right? The past dots, but just use gold light. You can say, angels, help me do this. And you just want to heal those little bits of you, because it actually doesn't generally take much gold light to do it. It's just that you've never done it before, so it hasn't happened, but it doesn't mean it wasn't easy. It's not easy to do. So you just use lots of gold light, and you're just doing what's healthy to do now. So you're seeing the energy blocks that are healthy to clear right now, that are sticking you in the past. You're seeing those little parts of you that are stuck back there, and just use enough gold light so those parts of you heal and they're no longer having to experience that anymore. So that way those parts of you are healed and you get them back so that you're more and more whole and you are less and less able to have trauma flashbacks. And they're less intense if you do have any. Again, you have the dot for now, and you can just too, if you don't see well, you could just do gold light all the way up and down the timeline, from present all the way through your past, and just say with your intention, okay, I'm going to just heal any parts of me that are stuck in the past. Because if you're stuck in the past, it's going to be for a negative reason, so just heal those parts of you with lots of gold light. You could bring up red earth energy and soak your timeline in red earth energy too if you want. That could be kind of cool. And sometimes with people, they can be like, we can all be stuck about something in this life right now. Like, okay, I'm stuck about finishing this project. I'm stuck about, making progress with exercise or, whatever, right? But sometimes it relates directly to that a big chunk of you is stuck in the past, either in this life or past lives. And so you just, as you as you heal these parts of you that are stuck in the past, then you might find that, the energy you get back, the capabilities that you get back help you to be more functional now. All right, good enough. Okay, so the last thing we did, we used timeline healing to help, you clear trauma, heal parts of you that were stuck in the past in traumatic experiences. So we're going to do a sort of a good complement to that, which is just kind of like melting the energy blocks that typically trigger when you often, yeah, probably, and maybe affecting your decision making or just how you feel about yourself, how confident you are, or whatever, right? So any energy blocks that continually trigger, that may be triggered right now because I've been talking so much about this stuff, right? But anyway, so it's kind of like how we do clear stabs, stubborn triggered energy blocks. Just line up, just pile up any energy blocks that trigger, that are from trauma, but they trigger, at random times in your life and your day, and just melt them away with gold light. You can bring up red earth energy. You can melt cords going into them because a lot of times people will subconsciously cord your trauma blocks just because, I don't know, they feel bad for you or something. So just lots of gold light, melt away the cords and melt away the trauma blocks. You can just keep imagining more trauma blocks. You can put all your trauma blocks out in front of you and just say, angels, is it okay to clear all these? And probably a bunch will get removed by the angels because that's too much. But then any that are still there after the angels checked are good to clear right now. So then you can just melt those or blow them up if you want. And if any are not clearing, just give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Alrighty, good job. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to look again just to see what I should be doing next. So I'll be quiet for a minute as I do that. Okay, so we're going to do sleep slide work. I'm explaining it first. We're going to remove gates, which we've done before. So this does help sleeping, it does help how you feel when you wake up. It does help being able to get back to sleep. But also it can help other things like having more of a sense of direction and focus when you're awake and moving forward in your day. Because well, the sleep slide, for those of you who missed that, I've been doing that a lot in the last couple sets, I guess. Maybe just the last set. Your sleep slide is the route that you take. It's just my cute word for it, but it's the route you take, the path that you take to the astral when you go to sleep. So it's your sleep slide. And ideally, it should be like nice and flowy and unobstructed. So it is like a slide. So you slide up and you slide down. But it can be damaged, it can be blocked, it can have what kind of look like gates on it that hold back part of your energy or all of your energy. So it's hard to get back to sleep, or it's hard to wake up with all the good stuff that you want to wake up with, like certainty and focus and confidence and all that stuff, and clairvoyance and all your goodies spiritually. So the gates are just hard pieces of energy from other people. Do people place gates on your sleep side? Probably not. It's probably just that's the way it looks. But it's maybe just some energy blocks or devices from people within your aura and your chakras. But it's a nice, but it also shows up as a gate on your sleep side. So either way, if you clear the block within that's creating the gate, or you clear the gate and that clears the block, potato, same difference. Although sometimes if you're not able to clear the gates enough, just do the inner junk. Or maybe there's some invasive beings kind of holding the junk on your gate or holding the blocks in place. So invasive beings always, of course, get in the way of this. So it's less drama if you just get the invasive beings out of the way first, block your sleep side and remove your gate. But you can keep checking, have your angels recycle more invasive beings as you work. Just to make sure. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so just imagine. Oh yeah. When it's nice and healed and whole, you don't have to think of the color, but when it's nice and healed and whole, the sleep side is green. So you could think of that if you want. And just use gold light to wash all the junk off it. You want a nice like gold force field around it. And you can imagine any invasive beings that are screwing with your gate at all, screwing with your sleep slide at all, attached to any junk on it. Just imagine all those invasive beings. The angels, can you recycle these beings? Let your angels do that work for you for a minute. And you can imagine any gates on your sleep slide, which are, just obstructions from other people limiting you, either on the outbound or the inbound. Just melt the gates. If there are any people courting your sleep slide, they may or may not be literally courting it. They may be courting some chakra or some aura, but it affects your sleep, so it looks like they're courting it, but whatever. Just melt their cords. You don't want anybody courting your sleep slide. So again, the gates can make it hard for you to go back to sleep, but also it can make it hard for you to bring in like levels of inspiration and confidence and focus and sense of direction and all that good stuff. So melt all the gates off of your sleep slide. And if you are not driving, if you are in a safe location, safe meaning like energy curated, energy safe, like your home. If you ask your angels to clean out your home, you can do that right now. Actually, angels, can you please clean out my home? Can you please clean out the property around my home? Angels, can you please clean out even the properties around my property? That's not too much work to ask. All right. So then, if you wanted to, you could, like I said, if you're in a safe place, you're not driving, you're not using a knife or anything, you're seated already, you could go out and come back in on your slide, just for fun to see what it's like with less obstruction and safer. So you go all the way up and just like hang out near your Akashic records with your angels. Just say hi to your angels, ask them for a quick healing. Angels, can you give me a healing? You can even say, angels, can you heal my sleep slide? Help me come back in better. And then come on back down. Come on in your body from the top of your head. Come in your chakras, as many chakras as you can get into of your physical body. Reground. Come through your grounding. Come through everywhere. All right, good job. Okay, so this can help with having healthy, safe boundaries with politics and people that feel strongly about politics. But it's just good anyway. Just makes you feel better. It can. So unmatched global pain is something we've done before, but just not recently. So it's kind of funny, you know, a lot of people on the planet can be stuck on the exact same thing. Like, not maybe that they think the exact same thing consciously, but like a similar block in a similar chakra or a similar way that a part of the aura is like suppressed or oppressed. It can be that way for most people on the planet at the same time. And if you also have those blocks, it's a real downer. It's worse than if you're just blocked in a unique way. If you're just blocked in a unique way, it's not as heavy as if you're blocked in a way that everyone's blocked. Then it's like you're on this sort of the pain train. You're on the, it's like, it's harder to have your autonomy and everything. It's just not great. So it's good to unmatch global pain, you know, clear the blocks that you happen to have in common with large groups of people. You know, maybe it's just people in your country, maybe it's just people of your political party within your country, maybe it's the whole world, everybody on the planet, whatever. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to unmatch global pain so that you feel better. and it improves energetic safety then too, because there are invasive energies that manipulate large groups of people. Like, for example, say a political movement is more into like revenge and punishment and racism, you know, stuff that's clearly dark. Invasive beings are very attracted to that because those people are not as present. They're more blocked up, feeling the resentments and the rage, the repressed, the intense, you know, out of balance, repressed anger and the racism, you know, is already like people aren't really present if they're that blocked up. And so invasive beings really like that. So it's better to just be screwed up in your own unique way. It's safer. So anyway, long story short, let's unmatch global pain, which can help you have boundaries with invasive beings that play with big groups of people through politics. It doesn't mean, again, that you can't vote, you know, and all that. You know, like I vote and I donate politically every month to, you know, actual politicians that I feel are, you know, more evolved and present and, you know, might help my particular country move in a more positive direction. So it's not that you can't participate in global events and, global politics, but this way, if you unmatch the pain, the way everybody's stuck, then it's just a more mellow, mindful experience for you. So then you can participate as much or as little as you want, and it won't bother you the way it might bother a lot of people. Okay, cool. Yay. So let's get her done, baby. So you can just imagine yourself, and do we need to imagine everyone else? Not really. Just imagine yourself and just have like the blocks that you have that everyone has, make them like a funny color that you're gonna notice, like blinking hot pink or something. Or blinking neon green, or blinking white. That's a very non-body friendly kind of you're not making this stuff white. Well, yeah, that's true. You don't want to imagine it that way. But yeah, you can imagine it like blinking hot pink or something. All the blocks that you have that are very similar to other people's blocks on the planet, and then you can just move those out and melt them away. So again, you're not dealing with anyone else. You're not touching their pain or their blocks. You're just ferreting out the ones that you have that are too similar to what everyone else has. So again, just look at yourself, your cool grounding, your cool auras, your cool physical and astral body, and just notice global pain blocks that you have, blocks that are too similar to everybody else, and make them like hot pink if you want, so they're extra noticeable. And then just move them out and melt them away with gold light. So again, imagine yourself, your auras, your physical body, your astral body, your groundings. Imagine your global pain energy blocks as like some fun color, hot pink, and then just surround them in gold light and move them out, and you could blow them up or melt them with gold light. So then lots of gold light. You can do like a tricolor earth energy soak, bring up red earth energy, soak everything in your space with red earth energy. Bring that down, bring up orange earth energy, soak everything in your space with orange earth energy. Bring that down, bring up yellow earth energy, soak everything in your space. Yellow earth energy. You can imagine your backlash people and melt the cords between you and your backlash people. Backlash people are people that are most likely to throw energy at you for one reason or another. And they might even just be people you don't really know that well, like a neighbor or something who's very judgy. So just melt cords to those people. Don't send them any energy because they're already very touchy about that kind of thing. All right, great job. Okay, so we'll do a wrap up. And for the wrap up, let's start with some nice flower healing. So we did your nasal, nose, and all that good stuff, sinuses, right? So let's make energy healing flowers for your sinuses. So just create as many flowers out of universal healing energy as you want. And make them gold or any rainbow color that you feel would be healthy for your nasal system. And you don't really even have to think about the color, just do it with your intention. And it's universal healing energy that you're using, but then you change the color of it to whatever color is best for your nasal passages in your nasal cavity and your sinus cavities. And then just say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to your nasal system. Your sinuses. Again, make more energy healing flowers for your sinuses. And also have it be, you know, telepathically healing too, like peace of mind energy, all sorts of good stuff. You can hear yourself think and finish your thoughts in a constructive way. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to your sinuses. All right. And then your ears. Make energy healing flowers for your ears, including all that crazy cool stuff in the diagram there. So energy healing flowers for your ears. And say, angels, can you check my flowers, please? And give them to your ears. Make more energy healing flowers for your ears. And have your angels check them. Angels, can you check my flowers? Give them to your ears. A couple deep breaths into your hips, into your feet, into your fingers. Fine. Okay, and just comb through everything, your auras. Your groundings. Physical body, your astral body. Check your first and second aura layers, especially around your head. All right. So as we wrap up, just ask your angels to help you finish up. Angels, can you help me finish up this healing? Angels, can you help me with sound boundaries? Angels, can you help me with my sleep and getting back to sleep? All right. Good job. You're amazing. Woo, 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 woo. Yay. Good job. That's a healing. Okie doke. So we could start with the waterfall again, and I'm going to check comments, and hopefully you can get through them relatively quickly. But if you have any comments about how you're doing after the healing, that could be interesting. Of course, if you could please take a minute. If I healed you, you purchased this set of healings and I healed you. Therefore, could you please take a minute for the survey, the post-healing survey, tomorrow or in the next few days, because I will have that separate question about quality of sleep, and I will also thinking about having a separate question about sound boundaries too. Well, sound boundaries isn't the theme this time, but in future surveys, like in November, December, I may also have a separate question about sound boundaries. But anyway, so your feedback is helpful. Alrighty, let's see. Someone says hello and thank you for the healing. 75 degrees in Southwest Michigan right now. That's nice. Someone says hello, Janet. I'm the girl that asks you how I can repair my anxiety, panic attacks, etc. Yes, 2 days ago. Welcome back. You told me to do the chakra repair or and creative ring repair. I did it. Good for you. Go, girl. Yeah, I checked for in case you had put a comment under a video, but I didn't see that. But so I'm glad you're back. I did it for almost 50 minutes. Wow, you go, girl. I was going good, but when it came to heart chakra, I cried a lot. But after that, I breathed more calmly. Yeah, if you start crying, probably your grounding got blocked up. So, I mean, some people feel like it's a good cry, so why stop it? But just, fun fact, I guess, or hopefully useful fact is, if your grounding is flowing and your aura is flowing, then you can clear the block without crying. And that sometimes is more productive as far as like growth and transformation. Not that crying is bad, but it's sort of like there are two flavors of crying. Sometimes crying, you're just stuck and all the baggage is still there and you feel exhausted and sort of beaten down afterwards, and the baggage is all still there. Sometimes the cry is more cathartic, and so you're clearing baggage as you're crying. But you don't have to cry to clear even giant baggage if you have good flow, in your grounding and your aura layers, especially around beneath your feet. So just a heads up. But that's cool that you were clearing a lot. Anyway, so then tried again today for 45 minutes. It was going good, but when I tried to focus in third eye chakra, I had ache in brain. Thank you, Janet. Hello, Janet. I can hear it to you from Italy. Oh, it's nice to know where you are. That's fun. Tanti saluti. Saluti. Well, hello to you. Yeah, I don't know if you heard me do my country count 2 days ago, but I'm like, I have this little child enjoyment of healing people in all different countries at the same time. I just think that's the funnest thing ever. Plus, I think US, I mean, personally, there are a lot of Americans who are overly arrogant, I think, and they're not as aware of and respectful of other people in other countries. So I don't know, maybe I take extra joy in working with people from all sorts of countries because of that. Maybe. But anyway, it's fun. So anyway, as far as your progress, chakra repair, yeah, big difference from before, that's for sure. 7th chakras are nice, 6th chakras are nice. You have some scratches on the side. If you want to just take notes, you can listen later and take notes if you're not taking notes right now. But your physical 6th chakra, left side, you have a couple scratches that go down the sides, like from front to back. So just repair the side of your physical 6th chakra more. And you have some hard objects stuck in there too. So there's scratches and hard objects sticking out. So like boom, 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 little spears sticking out and some scratches. So just to do some more work on that. Just melt those out and repair it up. But good work. 5th chakra is pretty nice. Same thing though. 5th, physical 5th, left side. You have some scratches and hard objects stuck in the side of your left side of your physical 5th chakra. But otherwise, they're nice. 4th chakra is pretty nice. I think a little bit of funniness on your physical 4th, left side, front and back, like a couple sharp objects, hard objects, just right there and right there. The front and back of your 4th, physical 4th on the left side, your left. But otherwise, pretty decent. But yeah, that physical fourth, if you take those objects out and repair more, then the fourth chakra will generate more energy. So that'll be nice. I guess I could do a little. So 7654, 7654. Only because you've done so much work, it's not that hard for me to do it. Usually, if I haven't worked with someone before, I'm not going to do on the spot healing like this. Anyway, so 7654, left side. I telepathically asked your permission. Consciously, I hope you don't mind. But yeah. So it's just a little stubborn on the left side right there. There are no beings in the way though. You definitely asked the angels to help you already, so that's nice. But it's like a white couple energy blocks right there that are really stubborn. Yeah, I think that'll be easier for you to finish up on that. Third seems fine enough. You could do a little bit on the left side and the back of your physical third too. Unblock a little more. Second, same thing, just unblock. It's not damaged anymore, just unblock in the back left of your physical 3, 2, and 1. It's like, it's like that. So flow comes out, but not on the left side. And then your aura layers back there, right behind. Like there's this chunky black energy blocks there. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. But yeah, you could keep working that. But good job. Most people can't. I mean, maybe you might already have a spiritual background, like meditation background, because most newbies are not going to sit down for 45 minutes to do chakra repair. So good job. But people that just because they're new to my work doesn't mean they're new to healing in general. But anyway, the ache in your brain when you were working on your 6th chakra, I think that was just a couple beings that were kind of messing with you. They don't. Invasive energy, if it's been rooted there for a while, it doesn't want to lose its spot. So it can distract you with weird itching and thoughts and pain, because it's like trying to beat its way back in. So you just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this work? That's why I keep saying that during the healing like a million times. But yeah, you just, angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And then you can look at, I have a whole playlist. I'll link it below later. The 12 meridian playlists that shows all the meridians, but there's 2 graphics. You could just freeze frame them, later when this is a video, you could just freeze frame like that one that shows the meridians of the head, and then there's like also the side of the head. Oh, look at all those. So you can just, all those dots, those are chakras. And all the lines, those are meridians, but they can get ripped up. You want them to be like red flowy tubes, and you want all the dots to be like nice repaired chakras. So you don't have to know, the names of any of the meridians or anything, or the direction of flow, because the chakras know which direction they're supposed to go in. It's just if they're smashed up, they don't do it well. And it's easier for invasive beings to hang out in the area. So you can just unblock the area around your head, and then just repair all your head meridians, you can call them. The head meridians all at once, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do at this time. Just have that intention, because especially with body meridians and stuff, you know, one meridian affects the other, affects the other, affects the other. So there's a good ripple effect, but you want to, you know, just do what's good to do at one time. So I hope that helps. And feel free to watch live anytime you want. Of course, that's true for everyone. I do 5 of these live streams every month. And if you wanted me to heal you in one of the sets of healings, those are actually for sale right now on my website. The November and the December healing sets are on my website, awhealing.com. But you don't have to, you know, that's just if you want. It's an option. What was this? Thanks for healing, Janet. My headache oddly got better after the trauma work. Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? Which is interesting. UB.3, right side. You go, girl. So UB.3. So, okay, so there we go. There's another face head meridians stuff. So the UB meridian, urinary bladder meridian, that's the yellow one. So there's the front of it, and then it goes back. It starts in the inner corner of the eye, and it goes up and over a little and then back. And in the back of the head, it goes there. So that, and then it splits up into 4 pathways as if 2 wasn't enough. And then it goes down your back. Super cool. But anyway, you could watch, I'll link below the playlist of all 12 of the regular meridians, and you can see the urinary bladder meridian video. It's just a minute long, and it'll trace the whole pathway for anybody that is feeling extra geeky about it. But anyway, so okay, you were saying, I'll put that up again, the front. Okay, so you were saying UB3, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's the one straight up there, right at the hairline, right there. What about UB3? Point on the right side. Thank you. Headache oddly got better after the trauma work, which is interesting. UB.3, right side. Lately, I have a lot of fear about moving that I'm trying to work. It's so funny. Because it's like, I look at you like just your astral body about moving. You're like, oh, you have no idea. I can't wait. My God. You're like, the waiting is killing me. It's like, on an astral level, you don't have like a speck of fear about it. You're just like, if anything, you're like, the weight is killing you. I think you just, when you get in your body, then there's blocks in the way for you bringing your courage more. So then that bears the question, is it a gate issue on your sleep slide? Yeah, that's interesting. So you could do that. You could work the sleep slide more and remove more gates. There's a whole chapter in this healing that where we did that, sleep slide, remove gates, and specifically remove gates that keep you from bringing in like the confidence and the determination and the drive and the enthusiasm about your move, your future move. Also, you could work it from the angle of clearing intergenerational baggage causing anxiety. Intergenerational baggage meaning like, you know, baggage from your mom's side of the family down through your mom down to you. And yeah, and from your dad's side of the family through your dad down to you. Yeah, so clear intergenerational baggage that relates to, that causes anxiety for you. Specifically about the move, but just in general too. Because it's not, at this point, I don't think you're really afraid of the move. It's just you have fear. And so when people have anxiety issues, I mean, sometimes it's very localized, but more often than not, it's like you'll be freaking out about the move, but then the move will go great, and then you'll start freaking out about something totally different, and then you'll start freaking out about something totally different. So it's really just an underlying issue with a lack of flow and volume of your first chakra and your first layer, which generates courage. So, yeah. So clearing it from that level of intergenerational baggage, that would be cool. Yeah. And the sleep slide, clearing the gates, blocking you from bringing in more courage and more abundance and just safety vibe, so that the whole thing feels safe and okay to do. Though, how am I doing? Still having a hard time applying for jobs, but feeling good. So, I've said this a lot, but people maybe that haven't heard me every word I've said don't know. The big things happen on the astral first. So, interviews, job interviews, if you actually go through with it and you do them, you've done it before on the astral. Even like applying for a job, often you've already done it on the astral for you to be able to do it in the body. So the question is how you're doing astrally with all that. Astrally meaning in your sleep, when your spirit is not in your body, you're on the astral. You're done applying for jobs on the astral. You have all these applications that have been submitted, and you kept copies of them though. So you're showing me, and you know, you have your resume and you've revised it for all these different jobs and cover letters, and you know, and you're like, I'm done, I did it. And your angels agree. So it's not an astral thing. It must be just physical, like bringing stuff in and then unblocking enough so it can come in comfortably. So yeah, just keep working on the sleep slide and the clearing intergenerational baggage causing anxiety, which would basically be in your first layer in your first chakra, but you can just imagine it as intergenerational baggage that causes fear, that blocks your courage, basically. Alrighty, so good work so far. Someone says, I feel serene and more present in my eyes. Isn't that fun? Thank you for the healing. You are welcome. When we worked the sleep slide, I saw a room with suppressed stuff underneath it. That was surprising. What would my angels want me to repeat from this healing? More of the trauma clearing. Absolutely more of the trauma clearing. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I skipped ahead to read more of that person's comment because I figured maybe you were continuing what you were saying. But yeah. When you were working the sleep side, you saw a room with suppressed stuff underneath it. That was surprising. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but you could work on speaking of a room, I mean, you could work on healing your specific sleeping room a little bit more, because you have gotten your like your home, your apartment. It seems like an apartment. I don't know if it's an apartment or a separate house, but you have worked on, you know, in recent weeks, making that more energetically separate from the houses around you and just sort of tending to it and caring about the energy. But you can do that same idea, but with your room, it's your sleeping room versus like other rooms in the house where, say, your mother lives or your daughter lives and sleeps, and just make your sleeping room separate and make it, you know, have its own grounding, and, you know, wash out other people's worries and emotional blocks out of your sleeping room. But yeah, as far as what your angels like you to repeat, the past parts stuck in trauma, they really like that. And the unmatched global pain part, they really like that we did right before the end. They like that though, you know, where we towards early in the healing after aura unblocking, where we did the sinuses and the ears and in front of the face. They like that a lot too. So the sinus and ear stuff, the past trauma, heal parts stuck in past trauma parts, clear trauma blocks, and unmatched global pain are the parts they like the most, which is almost the whole healing. Anyway, I'm glad you feel better though. That's nice. Someone says, thank you for the trauma healing. I have a block. I don't know when I'm hurt. I don't know when something is going to hurt me. Sound barrier ear healing. Scared to try ear healing, but did it. I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at when you say, I don't know when I'm hurt. I don't know when something is going to hurt me. At first, I thought you were going in the direction of, I don't know what trauma in the past I'm stuck in, which you don't have to know what it is. You just imagine little parts of you stuck in the past and then heal those parts of you. Like, you don't even have to see mini versions, just see little piles of baggage stuck in the past and melt it away. But then maybe when you say, I don't know when something's going to hurt me, maybe you're saying that, like, some things affect you much more profoundly than others, and it's hard for you to predict. But that would just be baggage, like old baggage that gets triggered. So that could be just clear more trauma baggage so that things don't affect you as deeply. Ear healing, scared to try it, but you did it. Yeah, I mean, considering your issues, I would say that's ideally going to be your favorite thing to heal. It's ear healing. Yeah. Interesting that you felt scared to try it though. I mean, maybe there's some ways of healing it that you feel like more warm and fuzzy about. Like maybe you like the tricolor soak of your inner ear better than you like using gold light to do it. Or maybe you like, energy healing flowers more for it after your angels check them than you like something else. But here to do it, I mean, unless you have some beings trying to scare you about it, that's possible. You could just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of me, working my ears? Because, yeah, ideally for you, that would be like the number one thing you work. That and the heal past parts of you stuck in trauma. That's another good one. Okay, but good for you for being brave. Overcoming your fears. Not letting your fears stop you. Someone says, thank you for the twin set healing. You are welcome. I am unsure how I am feeling. I feel like my body is still deciding on where to go next. Is there any section my angels would like me to work on? Yeah, the clearing the past trauma. Clearing parts of you stuck in past trauma. And if healing parts of you stuck in past trauma, when we did the timeline healing, and if you don't like just using gold light on the timeline, maybe make energy healing flowers for those little parts of you and then have the angels check them and give them to all those little past stuck parts of you. And you don't have to know, but like past lives included for sure. Just, give healing to little parts of you from the past so that those parts you get healed and you get back nice, recovered, awesome, healthy energy. You look fine. You're moving forward. You're bringing a lot of new energy, so maybe that makes it feel a little bit odd. But yeah, you are bringing a lot of new energy, but it seems fine. You could unblock above the top of your aura. You have like some heavy energy blocks just kind of sitting there, and sometimes that feels weird when you're bringing new energy in through blocks. It's kind of like, So maybe just unblock above your head and unblock above the top of your aura and just all that away. And, maybe you could do some stretching or some walking, ankle rotations, or some Yeah, you seem fine. Maybe, you know, you could just align your chakras, your major chakras along your spine. That's always kind of centering. Yeah, you're bringing a lot of new energy, so it can feel kind of unusual. A lot of your new energy, though. It's fine. And I read that one already. So then, hello, I think I am late. Oh, you're fine. I'm the queen of late. So no shaming here about being late. Oh, yeah, I have a flexible start time, so it's very hard to predict when these things start. But yeah, they start at the same time roughly every month, every 5 times a month. So Pacific time in the US, which is where I am on the West Coast, they start maybe at 11 a.m., maybe at 11:20 a.m. Yeah, last 2 days ago it started at 11:45 a.m. Super late. But so between 11 and maybe 11:20 is the most likely time. Pacific in the US. So that would be if you're in like Chicago area or that time zone, that would be like 1 o'clock-ish or later, 1:20-ish. And if you're on the East Coast, then that would be 2 to 2:20 p.m. start time, roughly. And if you're in Europe, I don't have it memorized, but if you email me, I'll figure it out for you. I'd be happy to do that. Janet at jwhealing.com. I do have in the notes in the info section. I think it's accurate. If you, well, yeah, you could email me. But anyway, someone says another awesome twin set. Thank you. By far my favorite are the twins. Yeah, twin sets, especially when it's the same theme for both, then the twin set is like really primo. Because it's like I'm really just hitting my stride with the theme and cool. When reading myself or trying to hear angels, I depend on what I consciously know rather than read and hear. How can I expand my telepathy and vision? Yeah, I would say work on clearing more gates off of your sleep slide so that you can bring in more abilities when you wake up. Because astrally, I don't think you have the same problems reading yourself. I think it's only when you come in, you're not able to bring those abilities, which is probably why it's like seems so odd for you that you still don't have the level of reading that you think you should have about your ability to read yourself. So yeah, just keep working those, remove more and more gates off your sleep slide so that you can bring in more of your abilities into your waking day. This is hi Janet, thanks for the healing. I'm feeling pretty cranky and suspect it's from mom whacking me. See, you're learning. Am I in 7 through 3? Yes, you are. Very good. Yeah. She's funny. I mean, not funny, haha. She kind of reminds me of my dad, my birth father. He'll just get, some bottled up, repressed anger triggered about whatever. It may not even be about me. And he'll just start whacking the crap out of me for like as long as I let him, until I, call him on it. And I'm like, hey, what you doing? Telepathically, we don't talk on a conscious level, but telepathically, I'll just, we'll have a talk and he'll snap out of it. I'll be like, yeah, okay. And then he'll just go away and leave me alone for a long time. So I think just maybe get used to that with your mom, that you just have to have little talks with her and just be like, hey, you having a rough day? You know, what's going on with you? You know, your angels, you can ask your angels, hey, angels, please repair my chakras. You know, just give her a little advice or something. You know, just talk to her for a sec, because I think, I mean, with her, the difference between her and my birth father is that with my birth father, like, he just really intensely dislikes me for several reasons. And so when he's pissed off about anything, it just triggers all that. And then he goes on that route. Whereas your mom, I don't think she intensely dislikes you. I think it's just she feels lonely and abandoned by you. And so when her rage kicks in, then it's like, you should be paying attention to me, you know? And so that's how so it's like a loneliness thing that routes her rage into whacking you. So anyway, just check in with her. You could proactively check in with her every day even. It just takes a second telepathically. It's so easy, you know, just be like, hey, how's the weather by you? What's going on? I hope you have a good day. You know, because I think if you did that more often with her, then maybe she could get over the whole you're abandoning me thing enough that, you know, she wouldn't revert to whacking you all the time. So anyway, your spouse did okay. I looked at him a couple times in the healing. Like the sleep slide, he was one of the sample people that I was looking at before we did sleep slide work. Because like his gates on his sleep slide were preventing him from bringing in a sense of direction and forward movement. So after that, now he's walking forward on his path, which I haven't seen in a few days with him. So yeah, so far so good. Someone says, thank you so much, Janet. Feeling a bit stressed, as is my daughter. Anything the angels suggest I work on? Well, I did not heal your daughter, which is fine. Just talking out loud. If you wanted to repeat something in today's healing, unmatched global pain that we did right before the end, that could be nice for you. I mean, it's all nice, but repeating that would be nice. You're kind of wrapping your energy around your kids. Like, it's healthy to have a first chakra cord to your young kids. Your kids are all, you know, below 12 years old. So the first chakra cord makes sense. But you're doing more than that. You're kind of like, it's like there's this blanket of your energy around in their auras, and that's too much energy. It doesn't help them, and you need all that to protect your body and keep your body repairing and getting stronger. So that's something you could work on, is using like some gold 3D magnet, like make a gold sphere or a gold cube, whatever you like, and use it like a magnet and call back your energy from your kids. You know, any energy that's uniquely yours or shouldn't be in their space, let's say. Any energy that's supposed to be with you, that's yours, just call that back. You know, the first chakra cord to young kids, between a parent and a young child, it does send some first chakra energy that is yours to their first chakra to kind of jumpstart theirs, but it also sends just red earth energy through, and that's fine. But it's all that extra stuff you're doing that's like 3 times as much, and that's not. I think you always do it to some extent. So it could be something you just keep working, but I think when one of them is sick, it just kind of, you do it more. To all of them, it just kind of triggers this, you know, mommy fears. So yeah, just call back that extra energy of yours, and then ask the angels to heal it and give it back to yourself. Also, the left side of your grounding is more blocked than the right. So you have really good flow on the right side of your grounding. So just you could work extra on the left side of your grounding and unblock it more. This is how did my friend do in the healing? And you mentioned their initials. Her angels are really excited about the ear stuff. You mentioned she has sound issues. Have that written down. Sound and sinus stuff. Angels really liked. She, you know, she's handling a lot, so she's not moving forward on her path, but she's looking forward now, and she seems to be letting her angels like help her release a lot right now. So she did well. It's just she's not like bursting forward on her path at the moment. But you know, baby steps. But yeah, she's releasing a lot. She'll probably sleep well tonight, I would think. Someone says, thank you. Do the angels want me to redo resentment, anger? Yes. That would be great. Your mom was one of the sample people, actually. I forget what she was a sample person on. Oh, the clear trauma flashbacks. Your mom was a sample person for that. Heal parts of you stuck in the past, because she had these. We had been unblocking the head, first and second layers around the head, and she had a big chunk of block in her first layer around the back of her head, and only half of it cleared when we were unblocking these layers around the head. But then when we healed parts of you stuck in the past in trauma, like in this life and past lives, then the rest of it from her head. You could mention her in surveys. You don't often mention her. I don't know. You probably are in communication with her. If you're not in communication with her, then I understand. But you could just mention her name or first and last name in your surveys. But if you have feedback on how she's doing, that would be helpful in surveys. But yes, really resentment, anger. You're saying, feel like maybe my communication with my ex, you mentioned his name, was a little courting aversive for him. Oh, I see what you're saying. Invasive, that maybe. Were you being invasive with your. Yeah. Yeah, you tend to jump in the back of his aura. I think you feel some, you know, clairvoyance plus invasiveness is a bad mix sometimes. Which a lot of women tend to have. It's like, oh, I can see you're going down the wrong road there, but let me hop in and steer for you. You know? So yeah, you were a little invasive there. But I think if you just imagine, well, you know, it's his path, it's his choices, it's his, you know, he grows at his pace, I grow at my pace, you know, and just kind of, I think then it's not impossible for you to respect boundaries with him. It's just that sometimes there's some heart chakra blocks that get triggered, and then you feel like, well, I'll just steer for him a little. So, yeah. So I guess keep unblocking your heart chakra. That way you won't be invasive. Someone says, I totally love the sleep slide image. Oh, good. I'm glad. Intergenerational trauma isn't ever something I see when I meditate. How does that show up? Symbols, faces of ancestors. Not sure what to be looking for. It's just an intuitive thing. Like for you, you could look for it in your lungs. chakras, and you could look for it on top of your right shoulder and around your right shoulder and your right hip, around in and around your right hip. And they just look like blocks, but it's like an intuitive thing, like, oh yeah. You can look at like, okay, here's you, and then here's your dad and some people in your dad's family, and like they'll have the same blocks. Not everybody in the family, but like if you got some stuff from your dad, typically he has that block, and then at least somebody in the generation before him has it, and that's how he got it. So it's like, I don't know. But when you don't have to know where it is or, anything. You can just pile them out in front of you on a big gold blanket. This is just the baggage that I got from my mom's side of the family that is healthy and gentle for me to get rid of right now. And just have a big bonfire with gold light. Or, blow it up like a bunch of fireworks. Yeah, so it doesn't look like any different than baggage you got from your neighbor. It doesn't have like a family crest on it or anything. It's just blocks or devices or junk or whatever. It just happens to be the same stuff that people on that side of the family have as well. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Somebody says, hi, Janet, thanks for the healing. I know I need to work heart chakra because I have been not feeling so great about not getting clarity for a job, as well as having trouble enjoying things. Well, you're a smart puppy. So that's just stating a fact, I guess. But then later you say, is there anything encouraging about it this time that I need to hear to shift my mindset? Oh, about the job stuff? Well, I did reply to a YouTube comment that you had made with some suggestions late last night, so I don't know if you had time to see it. But your angels had mentioned they mentioned dog walking as like an intermediate kind of job. And so I don't know if I think they literally mean it. But I mean, I could be wrong, so you don't have to do it, But that's one thing I'm hearing. And then about job, like not just intermediate job, they bring up like travel, and like you're young, you don't have kids, you're unmarried, so like international travel, it's like kind of an ideal time for that. And they mentioned like teaching English, in different countries, and you could travel to like several different countries. But then like spiritually you're like, oh, but I want my person to find me. And they're like, well, that's impossible, that your person wouldn't be able to find you. So they don't think that that you have to like stay in the same block where you live right now in order for your person to find you. It's not like, it doesn't really work that way. So they just keep using that word adventure, that your biggest problem is you're kind of bored. So they do mention international travel and English teaching and all that. So I don't know if how that resonates with you consciously. But that's what they mentioned, that I posted as a reply to your YouTube comment. But yeah, something encouraging to say or whatever. I mean, I just, yeah. Yeah, they just keep saying adventure, kind of like push the envelope, push yourself to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily consider doing, or to have an adventure. So hope that helps. Somebody says, thank you so much, Janet. That's so funny about my spirit being ready to move. Yeah, your spirit is like, oh, for God's sakes, can I freaking move? I'll work the feedback you suggested. I legit cleared when you said I was done applying for jobs on the astral. Yeah, you're so proud of you. You show me piles of copies that you sent out, and your angels even give them all the thumbs up and everything. So yeah, astrally, you definitely did all the applying and stuff. And you did well. I mean, there's nothing to fix. It's just it has to come in the body so that you can do it in the physical plane as well. Someone says, thanks for your suggestions. I do the unmatched global pain pretty often. Interesting. It's one of the things that really helps me to stay sane whenever I go out. May I also ask how present I am these days? Yes, I feel I come into my first chakra more often. Right now you're in 7 through 2. Before the healing, like say 2 hours before the healing, you were in 7 through 3. When you woke up today, you were in 7 through 3. Yesterday was Monday for you. During the day, when you woke up Monday, you were in 7 through 2. And then during the day, you were only in 7 through 6 at one point, but then you came back into 7 through 4, and then you were in 7 through 3. So it varies for sure. Over the weekend, Sunday, you were at most present, you were in 7 through 3 or 7 through 2. And then sometimes you were in 7 and 6 only. So yeah, it definitely varies, but it does seem like you're able to get more present. You know, it's not just like, oh, you were in 7 through 6, 7 and 6 only for like 3 days. No, it's like you're in 7 and 6 only for like 2 hours, and then you clear it, and so then you're in 7 through 3. But yeah, I don't see 7 through all chakras that often. And if you do, it's like it could be for like up to 3 hours that you'll be in all your chakras. But it's not every day, and it doesn't but I mean, the upside of that is you'll feel even better when you are consistently in your first chakra all the time. So you can feel much better than you already do. You keep working it. I think, keep on blocking the auras, because the auras are supposed to keep the invasive energy out, just because there's so much flow and so much volume of your energy flowing in them. So sometimes your chakras just aren't generating enough energy, even your astral body chakras. So that could be something that you monitor, like, okay, are my chakras happy enough? My major chakras, 7 astral and 7 physical, so that they're generating enough volume of my energy in my auras so that my auras do a proper job of giving me the boundaries I need. And likewise for your Wei Qi auras, that volume of gold light in your Wei Qi auras is generated by those gold mesh spheres of your Wei Qi auras. So you could monitor those too and think, okay, well, are they generating enough gold light, enough volume of gold light, so that those Wei Qi auras are strong enough? I have enough boundaries so that so it's easier for me to be in, because it looks like it's not so easy for you to stay in all the time. You have to work at it quite a bit, which you do. But if your auras had more volume of your energy in them, it wouldn't be as challenging. You wouldn't have to work at it so consistently throughout the day. So yeah, I would say that's something that you could start paying more attention to, the volume. Are your gold mesh spheres generating enough gold light? If not, repair them and unblock them more. Are your major chakras generating enough volume of your life force in those 2 auras, astral and physical? If not, unblock them and repair them more and melt away cords more, so that they can, so you can really have a nice full auras full of your energy, so that it's like you just don't feel so vulnerable to external energies. Hope that helps. But I mean, congratulations on all your hard work. To seem like you're very determined, which is great. And for those of you that are not yet determined, it's very typical for newbies to not have determination. Like they want it, but it's like it's really hard to like put it into action and actually meditate consistently. And that's very common, so you don't have to feel ashamed of that. It's just something that, you know, you can get better with over time. That determination, that focus to actually, you know, unblock your grounding, you know, balance your chakras and whatever, you know. And I do have shorter videos. Like I have a playlist of just the short videos that I've made this year so far. Maybe I'll post that. I'll post that underneath this video once it's a video. Later today, I'll post. There's a playlist of just the shorter walkthrough videos that I've made in 2024. You know, if you have less discipline, maybe sometimes these live streams, even though you can use the chapters and just do like a little 7-minute section, sometimes just it can get like it can just be kind of daunting that the whole thing is 2.5 hours long. So sometimes those little 10-minute videos are friendlier if you're feeling resistant. Anyway, someone says, "Hey Janet, I've been working on my boundaries with family a lot over these past few months and feel the calming effects from it." Good for you. That's great. Energy buffer zones. Oh, I'm remembering who you are. Yeah. Okay. Energy buffer zones, divine gold sandstorms have been very helpful. Is there an additional exercise I can layer in for even better results? Been doing the tricolor soak too. You know, you could also put your initials in with your comment in case one day I'm not so quick and I forget who you are. But anyway. I would say selectively clearing whatever your family members are courting. Like, you know how we like clear stubs, you know, stubborn triggered energy blocks. You could just put out copies of only the energy blocks that your family are either courting now or typically court, you know, during holiday meals or, you know, holiday get-togethers, you know. And so you proactively clear stuff that they usually always court or just the stuff they're courting right now, you know, both of those piles, and just keep doing that, you know, because then it's a lot easier for you to have boundaries with people, you know, because the thing is with family, genetic family, they've known you for so long that they know all your baggage, you know, they know like, oh yeah, you know, subconsciously, maybe consciously even a little, they know what bugs you, but subconsciously they really know. And so it's easy for them to cord all your baggage places, but they're not so thorough. They'll just have some favorites that they tend to cord. So just, you know, get the ones that they tend to cord, melt those away. I hope that helps. Tricolor soak is nice, yes. I mean, I do have lots of videos on family boundaries. If you search Janet Wright family boundaries, there's lots. If you did want anything, like a, you know, a walkthrough of some sort. Yeah. And one of the sets coming up too is one of the months coming up. I think November or December or both will be about family boundaries. One of the themes will be about family boundaries. But yeah, I would just, yeah, proactively just single out the blocks that they like to cord and melt those. Somebody says, I'm ready for a new job and travel too. Oh, good. How do overcome self-sabotage? Please help. I don't know that self-sabotage, that I would put it that way, that that's your issue. I mean, yeah, you can have like fear of success and fear of failure. And you can clear that stuff, and that maybe is like you're holding yourself back. But for you, I would clear like your spiritual path, clear other people off of your spiritual path. Because I think the root of it is more just other people like on your path, in your way. Like their energy forms like roadblocks and stuff, and makes it just overly confusing and overwhelming. And so I have a video walkthrough if you search Janet Wright. Let's see if I can do it at the same time. If I don't crash everything by doing this. I think clear punishment on a spiritual path. Let's see, Janet Wright. Yeah. Okay, so if you search YouTube and put in the words Janet Wright, clear punishment, own path, OWN path, like own your path. There's a couple videos. I mean, there's a whole playlist that comes up, but there is a video that has this cool graphic of like this blue road with a yellow line on it. It's kind of nice, from 6 years ago. I wonder if I could put the link in the chat. That's something that they do all the time in my husband's live streams. He doesn't do energy healing live streams. He does like comic book review live streams, but they always put links in the chat. So there we go. I just put a link in the chat. How about that? That is a video. Clear punishment, own path is sort of in the title on that one. How about that? That's the first time I've that's so funny. It's such a basic thing to do, but I've never done it. All right, there you go. But yeah, so I think, I mean, if you want, you could post later, as a video comment on any video of mine, and I'll see it when I have time and respond back. I'll reply back to your video comment. But, if you have a specific detail of like how you self-sabotage, but if I just take a look myself right now with just only that level of information, it looks like it's more just other people on your path that like disorient you and roadblock you. And then, maybe you have some behaviors that seem self-destructive at that point, but it looks like it's mostly other people on your path. So I hope that helps. So thank you, Janet. Your example inspires me immensely. Well, thank you. I don't know which example that was. Now I'm curious. Maybe just in general. But that's good. I'm glad. Let's see. Well, now that I know how to link videos, in the chat, that's kind of embarrassing because they always do that in my husband's live streams. I never thought of like, oh, I should do that in mine. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to link though, but that is a cool trick. I like it. Yeah, no. But in the future, I will remember that I know how to do that now. Yeah, good enough. Okay, cool. So let me see if I have anything to say about. Thank you, Janet, for reading and guidance. Yeah, of course, no problem. I do 5 of these live streams every month. If you did want me to heal you during these healings, those sets of healings are for sale on my website right now, jwhealing.com. Otherwise, the schedule of the live streams and healings are on my website, so you could just, attend without me healing you, and then you're just healing yourself as I'm healing everybody that purchased the set. You just use it as a walkthrough and heal yourself as you watch, if you want. Okay. So enough of all that. The head graphic. What else? Okay, so now I will do the garden update and Izzy cam. So I already told you, I already showed all the tomatoes that I have, which was cool. A few days ago in that healing, I showed all the green tomatoes that we have in the house because we had to bring them in because the first freeze is coming, and that would make all the tomatoes get all mushy and bad if we left them out there. So we brought in all sorts of green tomatoes, and we've given away some, but I have so many more I need to give away. But I guess I could just show like some of the ripening tomatoes. They look really pretty and interesting as they ripen, so I'll show a couple of them. Okay, so this one, I've said it before, this one is Cosmonaut Volkov, this variety. It becomes red. Oh, here's one that's ripe. This one's ripe. So it becomes this way when it's ripe. But when it's not yet ripe, it's like this. But it's ripening. So it's pretty interesting looking. And then the other variety that we have, I mean, we have some mystery varieties because when they were seedlings in the house before they were planted out, I like dropped an entire tray of tomato seedlings on the floor, and all of the tags identifying which variety was which like fell out, and they all look very similar, like the plants themselves, especially when they're little. Well, even when they're big, the plants themselves, like the leaves and the stems, they all look alike. So I dropped the whole tray of like, how many are in the tray? Like at least 18 plants on the ground, and they went everywhere. The dirt went out. And so some of the tomatoes, I don't know what variety they are. But this one is probably a variety called Black Crim, but who knows? Maybe it's not. But anyway, it's going to become like a dark red here, and then that's going to stay green. But it's just funny and like has weird shapes, because if you grow your own tomatoes, especially heirloom varieties, they get all funny shapes, but they taste good. And then this one is maybe more likely to be Black Crim. But again, it's getting darker there. And then here's one that is definitely ripe. And so it gets nice and dark red there and stays green on the top. And this is a different variety. It says ripe also. So anyway, just kind of fun. And then I'll get some little treats so I can give Izzy some treats so we can see him eat on camera, which is so cute. He gets all excited. Someone says, I felt I was jinxed by family when I was going through my best days and felt guilty for being successful and happy. I'm new, first timer here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I mean, jinxes aren't really real, but I mean, people can put, I call them manipulations. Some people call them curses, that kind of thing. That stuff is real. I mean, people can put stuff in your space to slow your growth or progress or kind of shut you down. That is possible. But that's why we work family boundaries a lot. I mean, neighbors could do it too, but sometimes family members, because of the shared history, they can potentially be the most invasive. I mean, in an ideal family, they're the most supportive and it's kind and nurturing and wonderful. But in other families, which are more common than you see in the movies, it can be very destructive and harmful and invasive. So, but that's why we work. So if you search Janet Wright family boundaries, there's like countless videos, not countless, but there's many videos on family boundaries. It's a really common topic that we work. And if you look on my website to look at upcoming themes, I want to say it's next month that family boundaries is a big part, but probably it'll be next month and the month after. November and December, we'll both work family boundaries, if not, a ton. Because, I mean, at least in the US, there are a lot of social family type holidays or social family type expectations around this time of year. So I tend to have to help people, get their family out of their space in the healings, even if it's not part of the stated theme of the healing. But anyway, yeah, so you could search Janet Wright family boundaries, and there's lots and lots and lots of stuff that you could use to help get family out of your space. Okay, good. So Izzy Cam, we'll show you our puppy Izzy. Oh, he's so cute right now. He's oh, I gotta show you how he is. See him right there? He's so cute. Look at him. He's so cute. Oh. All right, I'm gonna get a treat or a couple treats so I can feed him. So hold on. Hold on a sec. Camera back. Okay, so I'm gonna give him salmon bites. Some salmon. This is the last one. Here's George. Okay, guys, you're amazing. So we can end with some confetti, because why not? How could you not? So let's see. All right, bye. You're so amazing.